The Habs go into a college stadium and squeak out one of the grosser wins they've had this season, but a win is a win, and we're going to break it all down for you. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. And quickly before the video starts, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. You guys have been loving our content recently. We've been getting so many views, and we couldn't be happier with the support you guys are giving us, so keep it up. Jesse, that was an interesting game. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about today other than the fact that Montreal once again seemed to get outworked, but this team with a lot of grit and just somehow found a way to squeak out a win on their first game of a big-time road trip.
Yeah, Montembeault wasn't great last night. He was spectacular. Yeah. I was just so impressed with not only the quantity of the saves that he's making, but the quality. Mm-hmm. He was looking really, really sharp, dialed in, and a big reason why we won last night.
He was. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we could have easily lost 4 or 5-2. We went into this college arena. It's a very different atmosphere, very different camera angle. It was a bit of a trip watching the game, but it's cool. Nonetheless, I don't mind it. The fans seem passionate, and hey, Montreal got a win there. Jesse, I was impressed with Montembeault. Another name I wanted to throw out there last night that I'm sure a lot of fans are talking about today is Kaiden Guhle. That guy had, in my opinion, maybe his best game of the season, definitely one of his best games. Not only from the defensive end of the puck, or defensive side of the puck, but his ability to skate, his ability to move, and even puck handle in the offensive zone. He created that Caufield goal in the game. Like, he was all over the ice, and he's really proving himself as potentially a number one defenseman. Are you as impressed with him as I am? I mean, I know you are, but like, Kaiden Guhle is just like, it's kind of shocking how fast he's turning into like a bona fide top pairing guy, right?
Exactly. He's our number one defenseman at this point in time. And it's so crazy that he's so young, but could be so good. And you know, but he's really not the only one. He's played really, I'm just expecting at this point in time in the year, but I really liked Arbor Jackie's game last night as well. Just those smart wristers, you know, from the point again, kind of those seeing eye pucks, you know. I think that's what we need to do, even though it wasn't the prettiest game. Getting some people in front of the net, you know, kind of two layers as we saw with Dantonov and Dvorak, you know, one of them got their stick on it. You know, Dvorak got a stick on that for, I think, for a nice goal, you know, something you had to do to kind of get past the goalie that night. So, yeah, I'm just really impressed with our decor all the way around.
Yeah, Jacki has somehow found this magical ability to get pucks to go in whenever he fires them in from the blue line, and it's invaluable. I mean, makes me think that maybe he should get some more power play time. But Jesse, with all this talk about the Caufield goal, Guhle's performance, Monty being magical again, I think we'd be remiss to not talk about Mike Hoffman's overtime snipe. Yeah, no, it wasn't Mike Hoffman's best game ever either. I mean, continually he looks to maybe not give the most effort, and he's made some mistakes in past games for Montreal, but hey, he showed up when it meant the most last night. He came in on overtime, fantastic shot over the right shoulder of Karel Vejmelka, and man, Jesse, I don't know what to think about Hoffman now, because it feels like every time we start cracking down on him more for his mistakes, he decides to go out there and score an important goal or make a nice play that kind of makes us go, oh, well, and I've given him a nickname here, potential goal scorer Mike Hoffman. And I think that's what I want to call him. That's what other teams are looking for, right? They see his potential, they see his history as a 30-goal scorer, and he still shows flashes of that. I mean, this kind of goal in overtime and his ability to maybe score when people are down on him, like, some team might want that pretty soon, right, at the trade deadline?
They will. I think, you know, the days with Mike Hoffman with the Canadiens are numbered, but, you know, he's definitely adding value to the team right now. When we need a goal, he is coming through. Of course, he's not everything that we want at all times, but he is adding value to this team, you know, so I was happy with him. I would say I'm also was really impressed with the newcomer last night, Anthony Richard. I thought he played a really good game, and I'm so happy to see that. Like, he was one of our few bright spots on the night. You know, we saw Doc being a great setup man, you know, Montembeault having a great game. But Anthony Richard was our only player with over a 50% shot share in the game, you know, so pretty much our only player where he's getting more chances than the opposition is getting against him when he's out on the ice. So that is impressive, you know, for his first game, only his third game in the NHL. So if he keeps playing like this, he's going to show that he deserves to stay up with the big team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, every time he stepped on the ice, you noticed him because that guy is fast, man. Like, he is out there. I saw some people saying he kind of plays like Caufield, except maybe a little less under control. He's still a bit wild, but he can do that at the AHL level, and he was a spark for us. like you said, Jesse, I didn't know if over 50% shot share is incredibly impressive, even in limited minutes, especially in a game where Montreal was outshot so heavily. I think he can definitely, especially as we send guys out towards the trade deadline, if we don't get forwards back, he can easily crack the lineup. We mentioned this before the game when he got called up, saying that, yeah, he could be one of those guys to fill in, and I think he really, really proved himself last night. You're right. One final guy I wanted to mention in this game is Juraj Slafkovsky, because I feel like we have to talk about him every game. There's always something to mention with Slafkovsky, good or bad. Last night was definitely not Slav's best game. He was sort of benched again. He's been sort of going through long stretches without shifts. Coach St. Louis is really holding him accountable for his mistakes, and he did make a few last night, unfortunately, one leading to an Arizona goal. Jesse, I'm seeing a lot of, like, as I'm looking through Reddit or even, like, Twitter or even messages from people, they're saying, like, man, Slafkovsky, he's hitting that wall. He's really, like, not showing he has an NHL level talent. Like, what are your thoughts on people who say that kind of thing? Because to me, it's just a bad game for an 18-year-old still learning the NHL. Yeah, he's going to have bad games. Yeah, he's going to get benched, but I think it's a learning moment. What about you?
Yeah, it's complete balderdash. We need to remember that, like, he's 18 years old, and age, we think that it's not a big deal. It's a super big deal when you're coming into the NHL. It's very rare the amount of 18-year-olds who come into the NHL and really make an impact. 19, 20 onwards, yes, absolutely. But that is very, very young. I think he's still doing great. He's still learning. He's just got to keep his head up, both on the ice and off of it after the game, because some bad games are going to come once in a while. And you just got to kind of roll with it. But I think this guy's going to be a total stud. I see him being, a bona fide at least 30 goals per year and probably hitting over 50, even in a couple points in his year with the young talent that he's going to be having surrounding him in the near future.
Oh, that is spicy, and I love it, Jesse. I love the optimism for this kid. And a little fun fact for those of you who are still worried about Slaf, Tage Thompson, I think in his age 19 or 20 season, it came out on 32 Thoughts today. Elliot Friedman said, the Buffalo Sabres offered up Tage Thompson, or maybe it was the Blues. One of the teams offered up Tage Thompson for a fifth, and the other team rejected. So keep that in mind. Players' development doesn't always happen right away. These guys can explode later on, and we've seen the comparisons between those two. Not going to make too many more other than that, but Slaf will be fine. We just need to, he looks like he has all the potential in the world. We just need to let him ride. But that'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. We're pumping out almost daily content. We're sorry for missing a couple days recently, but we're right back on track, and we'll be here with all the latest Habs news, rumors, and game reactions. I'm Josh Gosse. For my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.